And I was literally being told, no, you can't do it. You don't know what you're doing, and you don't know what you're doing because you're a girl. And I'm like, well, this is definitely going somewhere. This is not a rant. One day, they allowed the one that was 2 or 3 years younger than me to play the game. And where he paused the game or whatever, they were standing him down that he couldn't do it. And of course he folded like a house of cards, and he's like, nobody can do it. I stepped up and I said it at that point. I'm like, I can do it. No, no, you can't do it. I'm like, I can do it. And I mean, it was a very crucial part of this video game where there is no reason whatsoever unless your game is tight. And honestly, I had never played the game before. That's what's so funny about it. I had never played it. I hadn't played yet. This was going to be my first time playing. My game was nice. Not only did I unpause it right there where it was and do my thing, but I went up 2 or 3, 4 levels before they not only felt embarrassed, but of course they felt some type of way. I mean, they grown, right? They in their late teens, early 20s. And the 7, 8-year-old is beating you out at your own game. A game you not only said she couldn't do because she's a girl, but also because you look at her like she's less than, like she's not a part of your family, even though she's a blood part of your, an immediate blood part of your family. Well, that was just the start for me. Anytime somebody ever told me I couldn't do something, that was the power and strength that I needed to stand in order to do exactly what that was that they said I couldn't do. And I know somebody may be like, well, that's a video game. Nah, boo. See, if you're not a game player, and I haven't played video games in a while, I ain't gonna lie, but I guarantee you that my game is still tight. Don't yeah. My game is still tight. I ain't gonna lie. It is what it is. But if you have never played video games or never been interested in video games, one thing that you'll learn very quickly if you actually did take the time to do it, and I mean not just look at it as a toy, but actually take the time and do it. Our military uses video games and video game sequences in order to prepare for battle, whether you knew that or not. Strong and successful business owners, same thing. They use game strategy and game theory to decide whether or not a product or a service is going to be vibrationally compatible to the type of people that they want to bring in order to sell this product again or this service. So that being said, for all those that put a thumbs down, and even the person I'm in a relationship with right now that still has this, oh, video games are stupid, they're dumb, you shouldn't sit down and play them, well, I'm gonna tell you, show me somebody that won't sit down and play a video game, and I'll show you somebody that ain't making even half the amount of money that they could in this life and in this world. And that's just what it is. And it's not even just about money. It's about life in general. Life is a game. You go up, you may lose some points or gain some points. You go left or right, you may lose or gain some points. You go down, you may lose or gain some points. It's just like when we took tests in school, A, B, C, or D. Cause and effect. And we could just keep going. And that's where I am right now when I say beginning mode. I did 2 readings on myself in the last 2 or 3 days. And the first one made it clear, that I was digging and I was looking for things that I may or ought not to dig and look for. Also, it was based around just being grateful for what I have, where I am. And it's not saying that to me because I'm not grateful. You wouldn't find a more grateful person in this world than me. Like, I'm really not being funny, I'm being honest. You're not going to find no more grateful person in this world. It's always my intention, even on my worst day, under the most worst or craziest circumstances, to find and see the good. And that's just what that is. But sometimes it's not even just about that. Sometimes it's just about, let me just stand in this moment. You don't know how many achievements I've had in my life that did not turn out exactly the way I expected it to. For over 6 months, no, 4 months, for over 4 months, I got up and I went to work at a hospital for free. The only thing I got was meal tickets to pay for $4 worth of food twice a day, and that was it. And I did it with the intention of having this document signed so that I could send it to my school and they could give me a certification that I hadn't gotten for something that I had finished and I had passed from probably about 5 or 6 years before. I'm saying that because in reality, let me tell you how it ended up ending. I finished up my work, I left. I sent the paperwork in, and they ended up sending me a certification for my other program I completed. Not for the one that I did all this work for the other one that I had completed. They still, and they refused to still send me the certification for the one that I actually worked for. I actually put in over 140 some hours worth of my time for free, basically, other than these little $4 things that you take to the canteen inside of, or cafeteria inside the hospital to eat. And you couldn't eat very much off of that. It wasn't very many options off of that. But my point is, because I did it, I was able to say I did this. And if I did that, then I can do anything else that I want. And I have many other stories like that where things didn't necessarily turn out exactly the way I wanted or expected them to. But look at where I am. Look at what I'm doing. My quality of life is so much better right now than it's ever been, ever. How I live, what I have, where I am, what I'm doing, all of it is so much better. I've been grieving so much, though, in the last year, in the last 6 months, in the last 3, in the last month, last night. And grieving because it's like, I know that all the money that I did accumulate and all the ways I was able to make moves, I was able to bless my mom and look out for her and do for her. This lady told me at church yesterday, oh, you know, my daughter says, come to my house. I'm cooking. I cooked Easter dinner for you, and I want you to come over and eat. And I was like, I wish I could cook dinner for my mom, and I do. I do wish I could cook dinner for my mom. I wish I could. It took me over 4 or 5 months to stop cooking like I was still cooking for 2 or 3 people. So much so that I stopped buying food altogether and just went on and started buying frozen dinners. And I ate nothing but frozen dinners for months. It wasn't until I met this person that I wanted to bless them. And so I bought groceries, real groceries, and actually cooked, invited them over. That was our first date. And the rest is history. You may feel a little off. Just like outside, the wind is blowing, the sun is not out. And I can change that. Like, I'm really not being funny. I'm serious. I can change that. I can actually change that if I want to. But the question is, do I want to? Do I want to bring the sun out today? Do I want to do that? I'm not saying I'm not going to do other things, whether that sun comes out today or not. Because I am. I'm going to do me. I'm going to do exactly what it is I'm vibrationally compatible with doing. The reason why I put such a big camp on it is some of the biggies that people throw out is they say you can't help who you love. Yes, you can. And I would have been the #1 person some years ago to say, you can't. Yes, you can. You can help who you love, and you can help who you fall in love with. You can. You can help each thing that you desire to do and that you want. As soon as you have a made up mind and a made up heart and spirit about it, so it is. And that's just what it is. No ifs, ands,